Alright guys, welcome to my kitchen. I got a new way of filming. I got a GoPro. It cost me about $200, but it was completely worth it. I believe the video quality is going to be a lot better, as well as the sound. Today I had something a little bit different planned. I wanted to do a smoked turkey breast, but the weather is not cooperating today. It's very windy outside, and I don't have a wind block for my smoker, so we're going to kind of improvise a little bit. We're just going to roast it and roast it up for some cold cut sandwiches. I just put some gloves on. Always when working with poultry or anything, you want to put some gloves on. I'm going to set the oven to about 375. I'd usually go about 400 with this, but I'm going to go a little bit lower, a little bit slower on this, just to kind of retain a little bit of the moisture, because turkey breast kind of suffers from everything else that other poultry does. Is the... Sorry, I banged the camera a little bit there. Is the breast doesn't have a lot of intramuscular fat in it, so it kind of dries out a lot quicker, doesn't retain a lot of its moisture, because you got to have fat for moisture. Fat is actually contributes more to moisture than just moisture does. So, but to kind of help it along here, I've had this brining overnight, which is it's just a simple solution. It's just the ratio is 1 gallon of water to 1 cup of salt. So I used a little over half a gallon. So I used a cup and about a quarter of salt. As well stuck as I put some of my barbecue seasoning. Sorry, I can't talk this morning. I put some of my barbecue seasoning in it overnight, as well as some grated garlic, some thyme, and some rosemary. So I had that brining overnight, and we're gonna do something a little bit different here with it. I'm gonna dry it off real quickly, clean it up for y'all. Yeah, you can see the seasoning on there. It smells really good, even raw, but don't eat raw poultry, guys. That's a very bad idea. Alright, just gonna take a little knife here. You could probably leave that on, but I'll probably take it off. Gonna take that off. Some of this leftover fat hanging right here. I'm just going to take that off real fast. Alright. Alright, throw that away. Wash off my gloves real fast, because always wash your hands multiple times when dealing with poultry or any other kind of food like that. It's just best practice to avoid cross-contamination. Sorry the kitchen's a mess right now. When I got home from work last night, I didn't feel like doing anything. And this morning I had to work on my car. Alright. Gonna take a little bowl like this. I'm gonna make a slather for this to help the seasonings adhere a little bit. Got some homemade mayo, which I'm gonna probably do a video on that. And I got some sriracha here, which is going to act as both a binder. You don't really need it with poultry as much as you do beef or something like that, but it will help improve some flavor. I'm just going to get, oh, I missed some. Take off that skin right there. I'll leave that on there. This is all rosemary. I had thyme, rosemary in there. Okay. I have to wash my gloves again. I could just use like 5 or 6 pairs of gloves here, but I don't really want to go through that many gloves, because gloves are still kind of hard to find. I'll take a spoon. Okay, so this is homemade mayo that I made a few days ago. I will, like I said earlier, I'm going to plan on doing a video on that. Put that in there. A little bit of sriracha. gonna dip my fingers in it and work that in as much as I can. Take off my gloves again. And this is just my all-purpose rub. This is just a mixture of salt, pepper, garlic, cayenne, pepper, chili powder, as well as some MSG, powdered MSG. You can just get that on Amazon. I'm going to get this well covered on pretty much all sides. Not really coming out too well. Get this little tail, I'm going to call that the tail. A few bangs, kind of get it loosened up a little bit. Alrighty, and that's about all it takes. I have a foil-lined baking dish here that I'm going to stick it in. I'm going to take off these gloves because they're very well shot. And I got it, I already said I got it preheated at 370. I'm going to get out my thermometer here so I don't really have to sit out here and babysit it so much. And I clean this after every smoke I do. So set it here. Wrong one. I need the other thermometer, the other probe. There it is. Alrighty. Probe one. I want it to go off at about 158 degrees because there will be carryover cooking with this. Annually, when you let meat rest, it goes up by about another 5 to 10 degrees. So always pull it out before it hits that 160 because by the time it gets done resting, it will hit that 165 degree temperature. Alrighty. I'll stick this in the thickest part of the breast. And that's set down a little bit too low. I'm going to have to wash these now that I touched them. Stick it up more towards the middle there. Put that in there like that. Slide it in. Close it up. Gonna set this a little more towards the middle there. It's gonna measure the internal. I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and I will be back when I'm gonna add butter about halfway through, just to keep it a little bit with a little bit more fat in there. So I will be back then. All right, so I roasted that turkey breast off at 375 for about an hour. I decided not to add butter because I decided that it had enough moisture content in it. I've let it cool down a little bit. It actually rose all the way up to about 171. A little higher than I wanted it, but it should be just fine because I gave it a nice about 45-minute rest. It's now sitting at about 158. Going to uncover it. That looks delicious. It smells delicious too. I'm going to pull out the probe. Move it over here, and what's going to happen is I'm going to actually crack that a little bit. There we go. I'm going to taste it, and then I'm going to wrap it up, stick it in the fridge, let it cool down all the way, and then slice it up, bag it up in a vacuum seal bag, and that'll be that. Let's give this a shot. That looks delicious. Oh yeah, that's not overcooked at all. They're very delicious. Sorry guys, I'm actually enjoying that. That is really good. Alright, so that is the end of the video. My next video, my friend is pretty much threatened to murder me. Not really. But threatened to murder me if I don't do Binging with Babish's jalapeno popper grilled cheese. And I got some time off coming up next week, so I will do that then. I will see you guys next time.